the camel hump heads that need to go on that 69 Firebird of my dad's, and I had to change out an exhaust valve because the motor fell over and bent one of the exhaust valves. I got that changed out, got it lapped in. Seems to be working good. I'm going to go through and I'm going to change all the valve stem seals in these heads and get them set up to run that hydraulic flat tappet cam. It's going to go in that 350. And I need to get all these retainers off. And I got this breakover style valve spring compressor I got from Summit. And it's the first time I've ever used one of these. I've either used like the little screw down style or the kind that it's like a big C-clamp kind of deal with fingers that you clamp down on. And I ain't gonna lie, if you got double or triple springs, those clamp down C-clamp ones that you rent from the auto parts store, you're probably gonna bend them. A lot of spring pressure. I don't need that much spring pressure for the hydraulic flat tappet that's going on this motor. The outer springs I had on that motor before the hydraulic flat tappet worked great. You could turn the motor 6,500 RPM, it wouldn't float the valves. Worked pretty good. I'm going to go back to that setup for this combo here. Get rid of those big heavy inner springs, but the double valve springs, that's more of the hydraulic roller spring pressure area. Is it correct? Probably not the by the book way to do it, but it works. It worked for quite a while. Didn't have any problems with it. Everything looked great when it flew apart. It was a wrist pin to let go. It wasn't anything in the valve train. I mean, this valve train would spin 7,200 RPM. It was a stock bottom end that didn't like 7,200. The cam probably didn't pull much past 65 anyways. I mean, it said unbeatable. I think that cam was like 18 to 62 RPM range. But let's go ahead and get these keepers out of here. I got lucky on them there too. They come right out. This one here. Oh yeah, that one come out too. This thing smashes it down far enough that you can do what you gotta do without things getting in the way. These little things, these little magnetic screwdrivers, they are my favorite tool for valves. There's just something about the flathead screwdriver and the magnet that, I mean, look at that. And that was a free screwdriver. You find those at auto parts stores or somewhere like that, grab you one. And they're giving them away around Christmas time or whatever. You see them sitting on the counter. You know what I'm talking about. This is the problem I had with these valve stem seals. Let me get you in here. These valve stem seals were made for a 500 valve guide, and that's what these guides are. But I just have these style seals on the intake valves and O-rings on the exhaust, and they didn't hold. I seated them down as far as they'd go, but almost over half of the ones on the intake valves there are coming up like that, and that's going to create problems. I got these thinner ones I'm going to put in there, and they'll work. Are they the best valve stem seal? Probably not. I'm going to put these in. That way, if I ever do decide to put the inner springs back in and run a hydraulic roller, I don't have to change the valve stem seals out again. I'm getting sick of changing valve stem seals out on these heads and having these heads apart. But those will fit inside of them inner springs. The other ones, they fit too, I guess. You know, it's tight. I mean, it's tight. It's probably my screw up, but it worked. Didn't have anything come apart on that yet. So, but get these apart, put the new seals in. A little protector. I have one of these protectors laying around. I like using them things. I found the easiest way. I don't have a special tool for these little boogers, so I've been taking the spring off of them and using like a 12mm socket and pounding them on there, and it works pretty good. Just take your time with them. These little things are fragile. It'll probably be a lot easier to get this out of the way. Here comes the train. So we can listen to train noises for the next 7.5 minutes. There. Heard that change pitch there? That means it's seated good. And we'll get that little spring put back on. I think that keeps the pressure and holds it all together. Take the little keeper off. Yeah. I'm gonna push pause on this till the train's gone. Alright, train's gone. I got it in here a little closer too, that way you can kind of get a visualer of what's going on. So I got that spring back on that little valve stem seal. I'm gonna put these valve springs back in with no retainers. Take the inners out. Wipe the retainer off. Make sure said retainer fits in spring good. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Set it back on there. Now you'll notice when this goes down, pushes down on the spring, it kind of pushes it sideways. If I can get my hand out of there. It kind of pushes the spring sideways, but not really sideways, but I don't know, towards the stud, I'd say. There. So just kind of pull out on that spring just a little bit. Break that down. Let it break over center. Then it locks in. I can put these keepers back in. And I thought this tool needed major work, but it seems to work because you get it in there, get your keepers there, and once you bring it up, a little magic screwdriver. There it is. Back in there. Bam. Inner springs removed. Valve stem seal on. That one's good to go. Give it a little tap to kind of seat those in. Looks good. Moving on to this one. man. Alright, here we go. Now we got a stuck jimmy. Well, you can put I've seen people put sockets over those right here, beat it with a hammer. I don't like doing it that way. I feel like something was to come undone with that much spring pressure. I've had one of these fly across the garage before, like I said. That ain't cool. I'll tilt the head up, use this C-clamp and this washer. So I'll do with this washer is I'll put this washer over the valve right there. And it's just big enough for the valve to go up in there, and then clamp down on it, crank down on this until you hear it pop. And that's, you know, it's done. Released your keepers at that point. Put the washer in. Try to get this as squared up as you can. An 8-inch C-clamp. I think I've seen videos where guys use an 8-inch C-clamp before. And you can put a socket on this end, and it seems to work a whole lot better. But this big thick washer works really good, and you just center it up in your valve. Let's give it a little crank. Double check everything here, make sure everything's still not pushing down on the valve. That's where an 8-inch C-clamp would be so much nicer. But I don't have one, so I'm working with what I got. Oh. Get your arm out of the way, I can't see nothing. There. How am I going to do this without being in the way of the camera? Oh, there it is. You heard it. You probably didn't get to see it, but you heard it. I just had to get my other arm in there. I'm very strong with the left one. Kind of a bend, you know. Got a bad back and all. There. That was enough to break those keepers free on this valve. I'll do the same thing as we did on the last one. that was the changing of the valve stem seals with this Summit brand. Proform makes one. Just about any brand makes this screw onto the stud, breakover style valve spring compressor. Took a little bit to get the hang of it, but you know, for the first ones I did real slow. They've been apart for a couple days trying to get that valve in and everything. So once I got the hang of it, how it worked, and going through the process, it actually works out pretty good. And you can flip it around, use it on a 3/8 stud, or flip the shaft over and screw it on to a 7/16 stud as well. So that's a plus. I'll work on big blocks or small blocks that have big studs in it, like the 383 does. But yeah, I'm not going to bore you with watching the paint dry, changing the valve stem seals out in the other head. One, because it's 10:30 at night and it's back in the back shed, and I'm probably going to clean this mess up and go inside and call it a night. And might be able to come out here and tinker on this a little bit more tomorrow evening. One thing I noticed is when I tore these heads off that engine and put them away, I coated them with fluid film in the spray can to keep them from rusting. And I forgot that I did that, but I was working on them, and I was like, man, what is that? These heads smell like crap. Yeah, that's that fluid film. I gotta give them that. They've been sitting for a few years, and there's absolutely zero rust on them. Pretty nice. They'll clean up really good. But even the inside of it, well, I mean, like I said, there's hardly any miles on them since they're apart. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll get the other head done, and we'll get that 350 tore down and get these heads and cam put on that 350 that's going to go in the 69. So you guys have a good night. If you got anything that you felt like I did wrong, feel free to put it in the comments. Might change, might not change. I mean, I'm always down to learn some new stuff. I mean, like I said, I want to know. ASE certified mechanic, didn't go to school for this, so anything I could do better or more efficiently, or you see something that jumps out at you, it's like, oh, that's not going to last. Yeah, let a fella know. I appreciate some input, some positive feedback, rather than you know, just a bunch of jackasses in the comments. But you know, it doesn't seem like it's an issue. So guys, have a good night.